Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I want you to just picture this for a second, because I think anyone in tech is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Imagine you're trying to build, say, a smart city project. You've got traffic lights from one company in Germany, air quality sensors from a startup somewhere else.
Oh, I know this story.
A cloud dashboard from a team in San Francisco. And the client, the local government, needs it all to work on a network that was, I don't know, built in 1995.
That sounds like a pretty standard Tuesday in the world of IoT, the Internet of Things.
It sounds like a complete nightmare. And that's really the problem we're digging into today. We talk about IoT as this seamless, magical future, you know. Your toaster talks to the energy grid, your car talks to the parking garage.
Right.
But the reality, and you can see this all over the source material we looked at, is that IoT is fragmented, it's messy, and it is incredibly difficult to scale.
It's the Tower of Babel problem, really. You have all these thousands of devices, and they're all speaking different languages, different protocols. You've got MQTT, CoAP, LoRaWAN, and none of them, naturally want to cooperate with each other.
So if you're a business trying to use this stuff,
you're not just buying a product. You're inheriting a massive integration headache.
Exactly. So today we're looking at a solution that isn't just another gadget or another piece of software. We are unpacking the FAVORIOT Partner Network, or FPN. And I have to admit, usually when I see the words partner network, my eyes just glaze over. I picture a webpage with a bunch of logos that nobody ever clicks on.
I think we all have that skepticism, and it's earned.
But digging into their documents, this feels different. It feels less like a directory and more like a deliberately engineered ecosystem.
You're right to be skeptical, but FAVORIOT seems to be attacking the fundamental flaw of IoT, which is isolation. Their whole mission statement is about co-creating impactful IoT solutions.
That phrase, co-creating.
It's doing a lot of work there, isn't it? It suggests they're not just selling a platform, they're admitting that no single company can possibly solve this whole IoT puzzle by itself.
That's the big idea right at the top then. In this mature phase of tech, the product isn't the app or the sensor anymore, the product is the integration.
Precisely. And they've structured this entire ecosystem into 5 very distinct tiers to handle that integration. You've got software, hardware, services, distribution, and training.
5 tiers. And what I like is how the documentation lays it out. It's not just a list, it's like a supply chain of value.
Right.
So I want to walk through this tier by tier and really get into the incentives.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
Because if the incentives don't line up, the whole network just falls apart.
Absolutely, you have to follow the value.
Okay, let's start with the builders, the people actually writing the code. Tier 1, the software partners.
The brains of the operation. So in the FAVORIOT world, these are your SaaS providers, your application developers.
So if I'm a developer, why do I need this? I mean, I can just write code in my basement. What's the friction point they're solving for me?
Well, think about all the plumbing. Let's say you're building an app to monitor patient health data in real time. Do you really want to spend 6 months building the server infrastructure, the security, the data ingestion engine, all the API gateways?
No, absolutely not. I want to build the cool part. The user interface, the algorithm that alerts the doctor. I want to solve the user's problem, not the server's problem.
Exactly. So by becoming a software partner, you're essentially plugging into FAVORIOT's middleware. The source highlights access to technical resources and integration tools. That's basically a shortcut to market.
So you can focus on the vertical solution, the health app, and let the platform handle the horizontal stuff, the data management.
You got it. It's kind of like that Intel Inside strategy, but for code. Right. You leverage their back-end stability.
Okay, but there's a business reason too, right?
Oh, a huge one, and arguably more important for a startup. The documents mention co-marketing opportunities. If you're a small dev shop, you might have brilliant code, but a zero marketing budget.
Right.
Being listed as a certified partner on a major platform gives you instant credibility. You're not just Bob's App Shack anymore. You're a verified solution provider in a global ecosystem.
That validation piece is huge. It de-risks the whole purchase for the end client. But software is just a ghost without a machine. It needs eyes and ears. Which brings us to tier 2. The hardware partners.
The senses. Right. This is where the digital world meets the physical world.
And this is where I feel like most IoT projects just die. Compatibility.
100%.
Yeah.
The definition here covers the manufacturers of sensors, edge devices, and gateways.
Okay, for anyone listening who isn't an engineer, a gateway is what exactly?
A gateway is basically the traffic cop. It collects data from all those little low-power sensors, temperature, vibration, you name it, and it translates it into a language the cloud can actually understand.
Okay. And the problem is, There are thousands of these sensor companies. If I'm a factory manager, how do I know the vibration sensor I buy from vendor A will actually talk to the gateway from vendor B?
That is the billion-dollar question. And it's exactly why this hardware partner tier is so critical. It's mostly about certification. The source material really emphasizes resources for validating hardware compatibility.
So it's a stamp of approval, like works with FAVORIot.
Yes, but it's deeper than just a sticker on the box.
Yeah.
It means the firmware on that device has been tested against the platform's APIs. For a hardware maker, that's a massive selling point.
How so?
Instead of just selling a dumb sensor, they're selling a cloud-ready device.
Yeah.
It completely shifts the conversation from commodity hardware to an integrated solution.
I also noticed the source mentions device management support. That feels like a feature people might just glance over, but it sounds important.
It's huge. Imagine you've deployed, 5,000 smart streetlights across a city? You don't want to send a technician in a truck to plug a laptop into every single pole for a security patch.
No way.
Device management means the platform can push those updates remotely, so the hardware maker gets that capability baked in without having to build it themselves.
That is massive for scaling. So, okay, the software partners get a back end and the hardware partners get a front end and a management layer. It's a symbiotic thing.
It is. But, and here's the catch, you have the software, you have the hardware, but who climbs the ladder? Who runs the cables? Who configures the firewall at the client's office?
Right, the gap between buying the tech and actually using it.
Right.
Which brings us to the next part of the ecosystem, the connectors. Tier 3, the services partners.
This is where the rubber meets the road, or I guess where the boots meet the mud.
The source defines these as system integrators, sys-consultants, and managed service providers. I feel like these are the unsung heroes of the tech world. They're the ones who make it all work.
They absolutely are. A factory owner doesn't want an API key. They want predictive maintenance. They want a dashboard that flashes red and says, Motor 3 is about to fail.
And the services partner is the translator.
Exactly. They take the raw materials, the FAVORIot platform, the partner hardware, the partner software, and they bake the cake for the customer. They deal with a specific business logic.
And the messy physical reality.
Yes. The legacy equipment, the spotty internet connections, all of it. The benefit for them in joining this network is comprehensive support for project implementation. So when they're on site at 2 in the morning and something breaks, they have a direct line to the platform engineers.
The documents also mention tools for optimizing client solutions. I'm guessing that means fine-tuning?
Correct. IoT is almost never plug and play. You have to tune how often a sensor reports data to save battery, or you have to adjust triggers to avoid false alarms. FAVORIot gives the service partners the tools to do that efficiently.
So they can maintain higher margins. That's an interesting point. If the integration is hard, your margin gets eaten up by man-hours.
Precisely. Efficiency is their currency. If they can deploy a solution in 2 weeks instead of 2 months because the platform tools are that good, that's pure profit for them.
Now, right next to services, we have Tier 4, distribution partners. And I'll be honest, the line between a system integrator and a distributor can get pretty blurry. What's the distinction FAVORIot is making?
Think of it as depth versus breadth. The services partner goes deep with one client to solve one problem. The distribution partner is all about scale and logistics. They're the empire builders.
So they're the regional players, the ones moving boxes.
Kind of. The source says they focus on recruiting, onboarding, and supporting organizations. If FAVORIot is based in, say, Malaysia, but they want to sell in Brazil, they can't just hire a local sales team.
It's too slow.
Right. They need a local distributor who already knows the language, the import taxes, the regulations, and most importantly, they know all the local system integrators.
So the distributor is like a wholesaler for the entire ecosystem.
In a way, yeah. They aggregate the hardware and software and then sell it to the SIs. Their incentive is volume. The source mentions partner enablement tools, so FAVORIot gives them the playbook to build a mini ecosystem in their own territory.
It's basically a franchise model. You own the territory, you grow the network there.
And you handle that last mile of the business relationship, which is often the hardest part of going global.
Right.
You become the face of the brand in that country.
Okay, so we've got the builders, software and hardware, and the connectors, services, and distribution. Usually in tech, that's where the presentation ends. But FAVORIot has a 5th tier. And this is the one that really caught my eye because it addresses what I think is the single biggest bottleneck in tech right now.
You're talking about the training partners.
I am. Tier 5, the knowledge layer.
I was so glad to see this explicitly called out. Usually, training is an afterthought. It's a PDF manual buried on a support page, but they've elevated training academies and universities to a full partner tier.
So why is that so critical? Is the technology just that hard to use?
It's not really about difficulty, it's about the talent shortage. You can have the best platform in the world, but if there are no engineers who know how to build a solution on it, your market can't grow.
We have the tools, but we don't have enough carpenters.
That's a perfect way to put it. There is a massive global shortage of IoT skilled labor. So this is a saithability play. It's an ecosystem survival play.
How so?
By partnering with universities and offering certification programs, a key benefit they list, they are seeding the market with future customers and future implementers.
It reminds me of what Cisco did back in the 90s. They didn't just sell routers, they sold the CCNA certification.
Yes, the perfect analogy.
It became a whole career path.
And if a university can offer a certified FAVORIot developer course, it makes their graduates more employable. So the student wins, the university wins, and the ecosystem gets a fresh supply of talent who are already biased towards using their tools.
And that talent then feeds back into the other tiers. The system integrators now have qualified people to hire. The software companies have developers who already know the APIs.
Exactly. And that's why I said it's not a list, it's a machine, it's a cycle.
Let's pull back for a second and look at that cycle.
Okay.
Because when you see all 5 tiers laid out, software, hardware, services, distribution, training, it stops looking like a hierarchy.
It is a feedback loop. I mean, think it through. The software and hardware partners create the potential value, tools.
Right.
The services partners turn that potential into actual business value for a client. Distribution pushes that value out to new markets.
And training makes sure there are people who can run the whole engine.
And as those people learn, they give feedback to the software and hardware teams to build better tools. And the wheel just keeps turning.
It really validates that claim in their material about unlocking limitless opportunities. That kind of phrase usually sounds like marketing fluff, but in a network effect business, the value really does scale non-linearly. The 100th partner adds value to the first partner just by being there.
That's the definition of an ecosystem. And it shifts the entire competitive advantage. It's no longer about who has the fastest chip or the cheapest cloud storage. It's about who has the strongest network of friends.
Co-creation over competition.
Or at least competition between ecosystems instead of just between individual products. As a customer, I'm not just buying a sensor. I'm buying the assurance that the sensor have a software partner, a service partner to install it, and a training partner to teach my staff how to use it.
That's a powerful way to reframe it for anyone listening who's trying to procure tech. Don't just look at the spec sheet. Look at the partner page.
Always look at the partner page. It tells you if the technology is alive or if it's a walled garden that's just going to wither and die.
I want to touch on that co-creation idea one more time. The source mentions empowering businesses and communities. We've talked a lot about businesses, but what about the community angle?
Well, think about public sector projects. Smart water management, flood detection, smart street lighting. These are incredibly complex, multi-stakeholder projects. A city government cannot risk getting locked in to a single proprietary vendor. By using an ecosystem approach like FPN, they have flexibility. If the hardware provider for their flood sensors goes out of business, the platform and the service integrator are still there. They can just swap in a new hardware partner from the network.
It builds resilience into the system.
Exactly. And for communities, that means the public infrastructure they rely on is just more robust. It isn't dependent on the fortunes of one single company.
Before we wrap up, I want to do a quick rapid-fire recap. We covered a lot of ground, so for anyone taking mental notes, let's just make a little cheat sheet.
Let's do it.
Tier 1, software partners.
The brains. App developers. They get infrastructure, APIs, and an audience.
Tier 2, hardware partners.
The senses. Device makers. They get compatibility validation and remote management.
Tier 3, services partners.
The hands. The system integrators. They get the tool to deploy solutions profitably.
Tier 4, distribution partners.
The legs. Regional scalers. They get the territory and the playbook to build local markets.
And Tier 5, training partners.
The future, universities, academies, they get curriculum and certification authority to build the next generation of talent.
It's a really comprehensive structure, but I want to leave our listener with a final thought. We often look at this stuff from the perspective of the business owner or the engineer, but what about us, the end users?
That's where the trust element comes in, isn't it?
Right. As our cities, our homes, our workplaces get more and more connected, we're basically outsourcing our safety and our efficiency to these networks. If the traffic light system gets hacked or the hospital sensors fail, the consequences are very real.
Which is why the vetting process of a partner network matters so much. When you see a certified partner badge, it shouldn't just mean they paid a fee. It should mean they've been tested, validated, and properly integrated.
So my question to you, listening right now, is, if you're working in this field, where do you fit in this wheel? Are you a builder, a connector, or a teacher? But even if you're not in tech, the next time you buy a smart device, ask yourself, who are its friends? Does it stand alone, or is it supported by a whole network that ensures it'll keep working 5 years from now?
Because in the Internet of Things, no device is an island.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's it for our deep dive into the FAVORIOT Partner Network, a complex ecosystem, but one that makes a whole lot of sense when you break it down. Thanks for exploring it with us.
Until next time.
See you then.